Welcome to the Tequila Time Podcast. I'm so excited to introduce to you today's guest, member of the Bored Ape Yacht Club, GBA. Hi GBA, how's it going?
Hi, Tequila. It's going very well. Nice to be here.
Amazing, it's great to have you. I really want to start just by rolling back 2 years ago, or maybe not for you, I'm not sure if you minted, but I want to go back to the beginning. How did your story start entering the Bored Ape Yacht Club?
I actually minted, yeah. It's a crazy story, you can say, because I was in the crypto space for a while. I don't know, since 2018, I was on Twitter following stuff. Went through this DeFi and whatnot DGM plays. And I was like, who are these guys now? And just looked at these pictures. And I said, oh, it's another NFT project. I already had a lot of kind of NFTs that were worthless because I have been buying them for like 6 months. Everything was literal zero. And I just said, well, okay, I don't care, right? And I think the next day I saw them pop up more and more, but still didn't mint. Went to sleep early. I went to sleep like at 10 p.m., which was unusual for me. And, went to sleep and woke up in the middle of the night, 1 p.m., 2 p.m., something like this. And opened Twitter and saw this guy Pranksy tweeting, I bought 100 apes, I bought 200 apes, all this craziness. And I just went and minted one more. And I said, okay, 3 for good luck, right? And that's how I minted apes.
That's amazing. That's amazing, especially that you saw Pranksy randomly waking up and seeing that he'd minted 100 of them.
Pure luck, yeah, pure luck.
Really, it must have been in the stars. Yeah, that's super interesting. So before Bored Apes, you said you bought NFTs. Did you sort of ape into crypto kitties and things like that?
No, I was aware of those, but I was never a gamer and I wasn't interested in these things. I was looking for something that kind of had storyline, and some purpose rather than just being a game. Because I knew that I'm not good at games and I will not be able to make it very far. So no,
That makes sense. So when the Bored Ape Yacht Club launched and you saw them minting, what was the reason you aped in? Was it just because you saw Pranksy and you thought you might be able to flip them, or did you see something more at the beginning?
Yeah, it was just about I could flip these things, but then when I went to the site to mint them, I actually saw what was written there, the story of how crypto Twitter likes to ape into things, and there was this button where you could put like a pixel or something, and this also made me kind of make the decision to mint. But initially I was just gambling. And I saw this guy buying 200, 300, and I was, he has 100,000 followers. So there will be something here. There will be something. And
yeah, that makes sense. That makes total sense. So at the beginning then, did you start flipping your apes? Did you keep any of them that you originally minted?
No, in the beginning, no. First of all, I waited a week or so after mint until I decided to just create a new Twitter account because I was trying to be relevant on crypto Twitter, but everybody was an influencer already. Everything was taken. And so I said, okay, this is my chance because I saw all these people with the APFPs tweeting all the time. And I said, why don't I do it? Just let me try this. I started tweeting as an ape. It was incredible. So many people, because it was like kind of such a hype. I haven't experienced such hype before on Twitter, especially. And I sold first ape for 1 ETH. To be honest, and now that I'm looking, I just want to buy it back at someday if I can, because it's really, really cool, like with face and glasses and colorful t-shirt. It's a really cool ape. I just needed money, for real life expenses. And yeah, I sold this one. Then I sold the other one for 5 feet. And from there, I started. There were already, gutter cats, cool cats, and 1,000 other things. So I started flipping those. Made my way to buying an ape for 16 each. It was actually a deep, I think. They went to 20 something. They went to 60, back to 16, and I bought this one and then flipped it big for like 50 each. So yeah, pretty well.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. And yeah, there was so many projects dropping so fast in that bull run. I mean, no one could sleep, no one could focus, no one knew what to mint next. I mean, I minted 109 Arabian camels. Don't ask
Oh
me
my
why.
god. Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was.
There's some memory.
Wow.
There's some memory. Yeah.
There's some crazy memories, to be honest. There's some epic moments when it comes to the emotional roller coaster. The euphoria I think we all felt was something special, and definitely at the beginning it felt completely different to ever before that I've been on social media. The ape follow ape hashtag trended so hard that we were all following each other. We could find each other, and it created this synergy between bored apes. And I think all those small things really built the community for a lot of people to still hold onto apes and to take it so far. Because as much as we can thank the founders for staying and not running away with multi-millions when they made it very quickly, it was something about the community that really did, I think, drive and inspire us all to hold and keep going. And that's quite special. And I feel like even though we're in a bear market now, I still feel like a lot of that is there, even though a lot of people have changed hands. There's lots of different apes. There's lots of different people. We don't know who we can trust now because some people just, copy paste the image. We just don't know. But there was something special in the beginning about being there at that time. And all of the things you just said, it brought some excitement, back. 'Cause even just the memories, we've got those memories forever. It was incredible.
No, yeah. It was great times. It was great time. I remember, we were always on Discord or on DMs with all kinds of people, and we were getting to know so many people so fast. It was so interesting. We were collaborating with each other, sharing alpha, doing stuff, talking about. I wasn't aware in the beginning, but we started talking about IPs and how to build products and, how to build your brand based on this PFP, and all these things just opened my eyes to such an extent that I have never expected, right? And it was really, I didn't sell at the top, because of these, first 6 months to 1 year where we were connecting on a different level with people. It was about money, but it was also about the long-term money of all this thing and the connections you make, right? Because like when you make such friends, you basically have them forever, in one way or another. And if you need something, if you want to work with someone, if you need to hire someone or to hire someone, you just go to these people and you talk to them and, hey, I got this guy, or this girl, and things happen really. It's just on a different level. It's not simple. I don't know. Everybody says community. It's not a simple community. It's more deep than that, in a sense that our common interest is these monkey JPEGs and the potential they are giving on an individual level. And I know, like me, a lot of other people changed their lives because of apes. We learned a ton of things about the world of art and of just as they say, as I think Gordon says, just doing cool shit, right? And it's still about that, although it's not like 2021. Of course, there were a lot of friction since then, but the real ones are still here. You see them every single day. So.
Yes, it's incredible. Like, absolutely, totally agree with you. And no one could really understand it unless they were in the club. And a lot of people might still not understand it unless they were here through that first year, because getting into it now is different. I think the whole crypto Twitter is different. But yes, the real ones are still here. Anyone who's still holding on and still building and still using their IP for different things, whether it's new businesses, merchandise, just building online content. There's so many possibilities that it is still exciting to me, like nothing else or ever before. You know, I feel like this is the future. We are driving the future. And I
No,
do
absolutely.
believe that when 8 billion people on the planet want to join a club in the metaverse, I still think the Bored Ape Yacht Club will be that 1% club.
I believe that too. Yeah, and really, on the outside, it's hard to understand. It's like as you see every other project, their community are they have different understanding for their community. If you talk to me about Azukis or Digots or all of these, they're cool. I like them. There are a lot of people there that are also doing something, but I don't understand it fully as I understand the mission of the apes, Yuga Labs, and all these metaverse things that are coming. And this is about the connections, right? About the people you meet.
Yeah. The people we're able to meet just by having a Bored Ape profile picture is truly incredible. The trust that is just already there automatically, as long as you don't break it, it is so powerful. Like we've all managed to connect with amazing people, and there's nothing stopping anyone building anything. There's no ceiling. And like you said, it's about the connections, the people. It's invaluable. That is more important than any form of money. The value of the people we can meet and actually build with is insane. There's people I've been able to DM on Twitter who, in a normal world, would never probably reply or even see my message. And just because of this community, I've been able to connect with people, in my wildest dreams in a way, because never would they have ever responded, because there would be nothing in common. It's insane. It's beautiful. I love it. And obviously, we can all use our IP. What are your plans with your Bored Ape IP?
I haven't really thought about this because I haven't found my forever ape, let's say. Okay. I like other apes that I don't have right now. Okay. But my idea is just to keep building, my social media presence, which is now on Twitter as Bored Gentleman, but it can also be extended, and it just gives me an advantage in a sense that right now I'm working on a project that I want to build in the other side, which I can talk about later. But this thing gives me an advantage because I can reach out to people and say, hey, I'm building this cool thing. Do you want to be a part of it? I'm looking for this and that. What can you help me with? And just as you said, this image of this strong, I'd say the strongest community in the space right now, gives me different opportunities. And I have been asked, do you want to be on a beer, on a whiskey, and such stuff? But I haven't found my forever ape yet. I just know that there are infinite possibilities to use it. You can create from plush toys to put yourself on, I don't know, billiards club. You can create a billiards club that these apes are just fit for this, and they made bored and hungry, for example, like burgers, all kinds of things. You can use your ape. It just unlocks all of these possibilities for you. If you have the ideas, if you want to put the effort and achieve them, you can really use this. Yeah, I as I said, I didn't really understand what is IP. I only realized that, hey, these pictures are more than just pictures, and you can actually use them for a business if you want. I understood this from people with whom I communicated with through the profile picture.
Yeah. And the power of personal brand and being able to build something from IP that you own is something that's really, I think, undervalued in the sense of what people believe they can do. many people see barriers when they think of building a brand. And the only barrier is obviously being willing to put the work in and the time and the effort. But if someone stayed around long enough and really built cool, shit like Gordon says, and if they really did immerse themselves into building brand, there would be no ceiling. And especially with the metaverse, because one day everything will be transferred into Web3. Everything will be online, and online identity will be king. And if anyone can build from ideas right now and collaborate with others in the space to help them make it possible, I really do think that we'll see the next multimillionaires. It'll be the next Mark Zuckerbergs and the next, well, maybe an Elon Musk one day, who knows? I mean, he is special.
But they will be created in the metaverse, right? In Web3, through these NFTs, through these identities. Yeah, absolutely agree. I think it's easy to create, personal branding and to start, just pushing your ideas and work on them. But at the same time, it's difficult because you really need to spend some time learning about, for example, you wanna write great threads, right? And to be educational, to help people, and to get sponsors for your content on your Substack or whatever. And probably you need a good amount of time, like 6 months to 1 year, until you actually are able to transfer your thoughts into words in an engaging way, and as simple as possible, as persuasive as possible, all these things. And it's difficult in that sense, and I think people just don't like to do difficult things. Right? Because if you put the effort, it's possible. It's like the internet, especially now with this space, with Web3, this is a completely new market. There are very few people. The competition is not rough. It's not strong. It's easy to compete there. All you need to do is to put effort. But yeah, I think most people just don't want to put the effort, just don't want to learn, and they're kind of feel shame when they fail, because in the beginning, inevitably you will fail in some way or another. My account, I have failed, hundreds of times probably, but I'm still here, right? And I still trying to improve and just learn to not really care about people's opinions, because I understand everybody is unique. Every opinion of yours will always have someone to say something about it. Like, this is the essence of social media and the internet. So yeah, I think this is a big obstacle with people to just mentally overcome, right? That I'm this person, I'm interested in that, I just want to do it, and I will learn how to do it.
Yeah, I love that. And it's true. Most people care so much about what other people think. They forget about what they think of themselves. And actually, it can cause them to think badly of themselves when they're taking in all of the negativity from others. And no one really knows anyone, like, people go through so much in their lives that you could never know someone on social media. You could live with someone for 5 years and not know them. So, I mean, lots of people experience that as well. No one knows anyone. And to take other people's negative opinions of you when you're trying to grow as a human being is probably one of the worst things that can happen, and to set you back. And, even like you said, you failed a few times. I'm so glad you're still here, because you're recognized, and it doesn't matter of anything that someone may have an opinion of you that's negative. The fact that you're still here shows conviction in what you're doing and what you're trying to grow, regardless of anyone. No one can live your life for you. No one is born for you. No one can die for you. So no one really matters. And the more people think deeply on it, I think the less they would care. But most people, I think, are weak to others' opinions. And it's probably the greatest downfall of humanity.
I agree 100%. But now, real life is not like this. Everybody still has opinions on you, but they share them in their home, right? And here everybody has the keyboard, the iPhone, and they just spill it, everything, whatever it is. And so, it's become just terrible. I sometimes am very surprised how people can interpret something that you say, that you don't mean anything, like not even a word in my mind is suggesting what their opinion about what I'm saying is. But hey, here we are. You know? So
it is amazing. And again, it's amazing to me how much words hurt people. Now, I understand if someone is being cruel on purpose and purposely, say, bullying someone else, that makes total sense to me. It's wrong and, it's hurtful. But when someone just, I don't know, gives an opinion or gives their point of view or, just has a different set of values, thoughts and beliefs that drive a different opinion, to hate people for that and to put them down or, shun them on social media, I think that shows more about the people who are doing that than the person who said anything in the first place. But online is wild. The world of online. I mean, it is, it's incredibly wild. And people have there's nothing that they can't say on there or type. So there's no limit.
There's no consequence. Yeah,
no consequence. Limit. Yeah, there's no Bored Ape judge yet.
There's no board ape that will hit them in the face, to be honest.
Exactly.
Sometimes like they say such thing. I remember it was really wild. As you say, 2021. I'll make some joke, and my tweets were way more relevant back then. He had more time for Twitter, and I'm making like some joke that's not offensive, not anything, and I received death threats in the DMs. I'll kill you, like such stuff, I'll find you out like this and that. And yeah, you have to learn to just ignore it because if this person probably, I look at it they're probably really struggling with something in life to be able to kind of threaten someone in such a way. You have to have something inside of you that is bothering you really seriously, right? And for the ones that are regularly rude or regularly attacking you or regularly insulting you or kind of doubting your intentions and trying to spread misinformation about you, this I take is my little internal motivation or part of my internal motivation to prove them that they're just wrong. Because for me personally, it's always been I'm with the rebels, right? I'm on the people's side. I don't care who, from where they are, who they are, how they identify, and all these things. And even though I have helped a lot of people, publicly or privately, like a lot of people, I've literally changed people's lives. There still be those that say, you are bad for this space. You don't have to be here. You don't belong here. Just because they don't have explanation. They don't have arguments. They just say, says, I don't like you, and that's why you don't have to be here. And so this kind of my motivation to say, hey, I'm working on this thing. One day it will become, bigger than I have ever imagined. And just prove them their opinions don't really matter online, especially.
Absolutely, no, for sure. Anyone who says anything, to try to affect you, try to derail you, try to stop you, it does say more about them than you. And for anyone who wishes someone dead, whether it's just in text or verbal or whatever it is, especially online, I mean, that is so final. For someone to want something so final for someone, that is definitely a cause for concern, and not for the person they're threatening, but for themselves. A lot of people need help with their mindsets. I mean, it's such a crazy world that online, I think, what's the word? It's not abuse. It's like, I can't think of the word that I'm looking for, and it might be because I've had 4 hours sleep and no coffee.
It's more like bullying, I guess.
It is like bullying, but it's so prevalent. It's like one of the hottest topics is how people are to each other. It's interesting. I mean, I bet psychologists are having a field day.
No, yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's become wild, and I think the main problem that leads to all this hate, because it's not, let's not lie to ourselves. Twitter is toxic. Twitter is just negative all the time. Always drama, always someone is attacking someone, always someone is trolling someone, like all these things. And I think it's just because there's not really, you don't see real life in the internet. You don't see everyday life of people. You see either they're on their best, their vacations, their, expensive hotels or cars and, expensive restaurants, or you see the worst, like how they're fighting, how they're beating each other and all this. It's all this mix and, news also and some, from the movies and from music, this drama kind of programming, and as if they lost track of reality. In real life is not like this. The more time I'm trying to spend much more time in real life, because you go to the shop, you meet a stranger on a cash desk, and you say a few words, and it's not negative. You got charged with just a few words from a stranger. Hey, have a nice day, something like this. Or I know you help old person to cross the street, or you see some family in the park and the kids are doing something funny. This doesn't exist on Twitter. People don't click on these things. They're not interested in these things, and this creates all this, all the fighting, all the I'm better than you. I'm better.
It is true. I mean, they've lost sense of what really life is. And on another note, whenever I'm out IRL, whenever I'm not on my laptop, because it is quite a lot, I'm online a lot, but when I am walking around, I make the conscious effort to smile to people, just a casual smile. And I've noticed over the last few years, because I've done that since forever, but I feel like people are finding it harder to smile back. And I've noticed I'll have to maintain my smile for a lot longer, the extra few seconds, so they see that I'm genuinely smiling at them and it's not just something that's unnoticed. Because people need to know that there's kind people in the world, and people are not against people. Politics is against politics. That is wild on Twitter. Anything to do with politics. I mean, race and people's gender identity. All these things are suddenly the hot topics. They're suddenly getting so much attention. And I truly do believe it's not people pushing it. It's probably big pharma pushing surgery, so people want to change their genders, they control the marketing. Politicians probably control race against people because they need to divide them somehow, because you divide, you conquer. I do believe that the keys to all of this is for people to realize that humans are good. There are bad apples, don't get me wrong, but the majority of humans want to feel love and peace. We're not on this planet to harm each other, but it's portrayed in a different way, and it's really, really cloudy online. It's difficult to see that.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. There are bad people, but I believe that most people are good. They have good intentions. They don't want to harm anyone. They want to go through their day, to just spend time with their family and have good dinner and have a good walk or go to the beach or whatever. Right? They don't go outside with the intention to abuse someone. But yeah, it's important also to know how to protect ourselves from the bad ones, or how to avoid them if we can protect ourselves. And I think online it has become impossible, because, as you say, all these political stuff, these culture wars, all these fights, I'm seeing murders on Twitter. I have blocked so many accounts and I keep seeing them. So this is not from people. This is coming from someone who wants to make people afraid, to make people anxious. And what better slave than an anxious person that, is afraid of what will happen next week, what will happen next month. And especially, the majority of people in the world are not living well. They don't have money. In that sense, we're super, super lucky to be able to even participate in this space from our home, from our computer. We don't have to do heavy physical work, right?
Yeah.
And this gives you somehow a better life than the majority of people. And when they have hard life, and when they after work go on Twitter, on Facebook, or whatever they are using, and scroll through all this bullshit, they become even more anxious. They become more afraid, and it's like a loop. It's never ending loop, because they don't reach the good content. They don't reach the educational content. They don't reach the funny content. Not to mention that the funny content is now considered offensive. This is another thing. So, unless you have some real reason in life that, fuck this, I don't want to live like this anymore. I need to find a way to make my life better, and find by yourself, just go find this content that will improve your life. You're just stuck in this loop. And you just go, and someone tells you that, I don't want to give examples, but someone tells something that you disagree with on the internet, and you go there and spend the next 15 minutes writing a comment of how wrong this person is, and how it should be. It's become crazy.
Normally things that we can't even control. So we've all got these opinions, and no one could change anything anyway. We're all still in our houses, all online. And and you're right. And there's a really good book, actually. So if anyone listening feels, any of these things, anxious, don't know where they're going in life, feel like everyone hates the world, there's a really good book called Ikigai. And it's finding your ikigai, which is like your purpose, your reason to wake up in the morning and, find a zest for life. Everyone needs to find a purpose, because boredom is something that kills. When you're bored, you get into trouble, And a lot of people, I think, on this planet are bored, and they've got nothing in their life that they're passionate about because they're so busy trying to pay their bills. And that is just so sad. I'd love to be able to fix it. I would love to be able to fix it.
Good point. And that's another thing that Bored Ape Yacht Club just gave me another purpose in life, because I was lost. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I was lost for a long time. I was looking for, what do I want to do? How do I make my life better? And how do I earn enough money to pay my fucking rent, right? Yeah. And in that sense, since 2021, my eyes, my perspective of the world has opened so much that now I have another purpose. Hey, I can, I'm in real life, I'm not very sociable. I have hard time connecting with people. I still connect with them, but in the first an hour, it's a bit awkward, right? And the internet is giving me the opportunity to host spaces, to go in the metaverse and host some events to bring people together for whatever topic, and it's behind the avatar, and it's much easier. So now I see, okay, I can improve my life by doing this, and I also have a purpose, because what I'm going to create is all about networking. It's all about creating opportunity. It's all about education. It's all about having fun and taking it easy and distinguishing the bullshit from the important stuff. And all this entire virtual world is giving me this opportunity as someone that I'm a normal guy, right? I'm putting more effort. I have more ambition, let's say, than a lot of people. And now I can do something knowing that my life improves, and I'm also useful for other people, especially for younger people, because when I started my journey I literally Googled how to change my life. I was 23 years old. It was 11 years ago. I Googled how to change my life, and I started from there. So my 20s, I kind of spent just looking for such answers, looking to find myself and what I want to do in this life. And so now I can do the same thing, helping younger people, not necessarily only younger, but all kinds of people in that sense. connecting with others, giving others stage to share their ideas, their knowledge, their expertise. And yeah, it just, I feel great about it.
That's amazing. And you probably feel great because you're doing things that help others. And I do feel like that is a powerful thing to do. There's nothing better than the rewarding feeling than making someone else smile, or giving someone a gift where you want nothing in return, or doing something to uplift someone's life, or helping them, I don't know, find a better role in life. Anything. It could be anything, but lifting people up. There's something super powerful about what that does inside of oneself. And I feel so great when I do great things for other people. And if you notice on my timeline, it's always, we're going to make it. Let's fucking go. Because I do believe we will. And it makes me feel good, making people laugh and smile. And there's nothing better than running around as your bored ape, yelling, let's fucking go on a beach. And you get all these I get these DMs where people say, my children heard you in the background and they're obsessed with you. And I try and make them not swear, but they're like, let's go around the house. And there's certain DMs I receive, and it's a beautiful thing that I'm having a positive impact on others, because I think the world needs more of it. So it's not that I want to be a joke in that sense, but I do feel like laughter is a powerful medicine, and I'm happy to laugh at myself. And I think, any way you can do good for others, And when you mentioned, what you're building is doing all of those things, is that board central? I saw it on your page.
Yeah, this will be the name of it. Yeah, this will be the name.
I like the name. I really like it.
Thank you.
What's your plans with it? Do you have any ideas?
Yeah, the idea is to host events in the metaverse on the other side, different kinds of events. Of course, it will start simple, like hosting spaces and, just gathering inside and talking, everybody just talking or dancing, there will be music and stuff. But yeah, there will be different places. Right, imagine it like a district, right, with different buildings, and each of those buildings will have different purpose. Okay.
Yeah.
And one of them will be one-on-one consultation. I can tell 10 people that have experience from the space, hey, you can do this thing in the metaverse, directly. I have built this. If you want, go there and do your coaching program, or just guide people, give them feedback, whatever you're good at. There will be also, I'm planning networking events with people who actually have businesses, who are entrepreneurs. This word is hard for me.
Entrepreneurs.
Yeah, this. Yeah, so kind of networking events, so these people can connect with each other and their businesses, and eventually they can create something else out of their knowledge and experience. There will be a bar for sure. There will be DJ parties, board games, karaoke, like such fun stuff, and gambling, of course. Will be poker, billiards, darts, sports games. You can watch or you can bet, like something like this, something in these lines. Yeah.
It sounds amazing. It sounds like it has everything that would get every kind of person there, whether they need help, whether they need fun, whether they just want to connect with friends, whether they want to help others using their own services. I think that's a very good idea. I think it's a good way to go. And like I said before, one day, everyone will be in the metaverse, and Apple's brought out their VR headsets. There's no doubt in my mind that it will become a normal thing where people will go to work and almost live there.
No way, yeah. Especially young people.
Yeah.
It's sad to say, but, especially young men who are living with their parents, either in the basement or their room, doesn't matter. But because of what we're talking about, this bullshit that's going on social media, they're just demoralized, and they enjoy being in the metaverse more than outside. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. I might not like to be 24/7 there, but there are people who live like this right now. They just don't have the interface. They have the video games, right? But it's different when you put the VR, when you put the headset and just enter the other side, for example, and you're suddenly in a big hall, let's say, and there's a comedy show going on. You don't have to go anywhere. You just in your home with your VR headset and you're enjoying a stand-up comedy. I think it's really, it has big potential. And yeah, it depends on me basically to be able to create the right relationships with the right people, because I'm aware that I cannot do it by myself. I need good people to work with me. And I have already found a few. It's just the idea is developing every day, the plan is developing every day, and it will happen once the other side opens, like immediately. Everything is ready. I just have to start doing it when it's ready.
Yeah, it's exciting. And that idea could definitely work. I mean, bringing people together into a place where everyone will be one day and the other side is going to be epic. No matter what happens, we know they're going to make it wow. Meaning it's going to be a very cool spot for people to hang out because there's going to be multiple metaverses. There's going to be so many different ones. If you can brand that idea really well and you do get the right people on board, it could be just an incredible place to be. And there's a few ways to look at it because it is definitely going to be the future. You can't stop it or change it even if you don't want it to happen. And the next generations, the younger people, will be more inclined to, be on their technology devices than anyone else who were ever before us. It's going to happen. And there are two ways to look at it. There's one, a bit of a negative way. I would never give up my childhood for anything. I wouldn't want to be brought up in this day and age at that age because I would have not had any experiences different to compare. Meaning I would only know that reality. On the other hand, there are lots of opportunities for people who may be disadvantaged before. So there's lots of countries, like you mentioned before, that are, poor. They can't afford to feed themselves, and that's a very difficult life. And if they can earn money because of the metaverse without needing to leave their homes, because they can't afford to, maybe they can't afford a car, maybe they can't even get a job in the real world. I think there's, a lot of opportunity for those people who before wouldn't have made anything. So it's a tough one. It's really difficult.
Well, imagine like you host an event, a given event, and you say to people, you come to this event and you receive a POAP. If you visit 10 events, you have 10 POAPs, and then with these 10 POAPs, we're gifting you some item for the metaverse that you can go and sell on OpenSea or whatever marketplace is there. And so in that sense, you spend, let's say, 1 hour a day to join these events as a person who wants to make some additional money. You get this virtual item and you sell it on the marketplace. Oh, you have money. So yeah, and you also learn things. The possibilities are infinite in my opinion. It's just my mind cannot really grasp the entire concept yet.
Yeah, it's huge. My mind doesn't slow down and stop. I always have to write notes because I've always got so many ideas. It's because there's too much opportunity. It's because it's so brand new. It's the dawn of the biggest thing since anything great. Like, it's bigger than Google. It's bigger than the internet. It's bigger than anything we've ever discovered. And no one knows the machine it's going to become. No one knows yet. I just know it's going to be huge in our lives. I know it's going to be massive. Yeah. And it will need everything. People will have homes in the metaverse. They'll need a TV. 100%. They'll need wallpaper. Yeah. They'll need double glazing doors. They'll need a swimming pool, a sauna, a gym. They'll need everything you have in the real world. And that's where the opportunity is. You could build a fitness brand. I haven't really seen any Bored Apes do this yet, I don't think, where they could build a fitness brand. They just lift their energy drinks and move their mouse. Yeah. But yeah, a fitness brand that people go into the metaverse and they're getting fit in real life and their avatar is. So their avatar is earning points. Then it'll go to a juice bar and it'll be really healthy and the points will increase because it's just had a green juice and hydrated. And then it'll have what I'm trying to say is there'll be everything in there and our avatars will become us. We will become our avatars, especially again 100%. The next generations to come, and they will boost their points by using these services in the metaverse. It's huge.
No, it's the new world. It's a parallel world that will become. We might not be alive then, but it will become bigger than the real world. I
Yeah.
actually believe in those, doomsday movies or like Ready Player One, and this. It's happening. Like it's already happening. Everybody is on their phone.
Yeah.
They're walking on the street and they're on their phone.
Yeah.
So it's happening. And imagine when you can put a few things on you like a suit and you see yourself, doing push-ups in the metaverse, right?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen people walk around with their mobile phones and walking into lampposts and things. It really does happen more these days.
Yeah. No, it's
People
crazy.
are glued to their mobiles. No one really opens their eyes and looks around anymore much. I see people out to dinner together and, both or all of them are on their phones. It's just this amazing change of the human behavior. I mean, people will sit across from each other on the same table and rather than talk, they text.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. These are kind of the things that I don't really understand, but they're happening, and I cannot do anything about it. So, okay, let them be. I'll just build my metaverse and let them be in my metaverse. Something like this.
Exactly. You may as well build what they're going to be using anyway. And there was another board ape on the podcast, and he called, I think it was his sister. It might have been a different family member, but someone young. And he tried to call her, and she thought it was a prank call because she'd never had a normal phone call. It was always
Jeez.
social media with FaceTime. Never had she had a normal phone call ever in her life, and she thought it was a prank. That is where we are right now.
Yeah.
So it's so integrated into society. It's going to be something that we watch like a movie because
You cannot fight it.
no, you can't. You can't fight it. And I think if anyone can see golden opportunities to build and grow things, again, they could be very successful. If people want to be the users, they can possibly make some money in the metaverse, but they'll be keeping themselves on a medium ground, because the only way to make it in the metaverse, really, it will be to either create something or have the highest tier of NFTs, because one day our digital wallets are going to be so transparent, you won't be able to hide what you own. So your real life assets will be tied to your digital wallet. People will know what bedroom house you have, what location postcode you're in, what country, what car you drive. You won't be able to hide from it, it'll be so transparent, and that will turn into the world of the has and the has-nots. And that's going to drive another change in humanity, which we will watch.
No, yeah. We'll observe it, yeah. But definitely, we're moving to a fully digital world, little by little. In human years, it's a long time. But if you see, like from the perspective of the universe, it's just a second that these things just evolve. And I've said it, everyone will have NFT, everyone will have virtual identity that they use in the metaverse. Imagine, Uber, now you want to order food, right? You don't go to the restaurant, you just go through your app. And now you just can be at home, going to a virtual location that's Uber, order something, and in 30 minutes you get the thing delivered without having any human contact, right? They'll just say, your food is delivered, please pick it up, and everything will work this way. As you say, it's everything, and everything from the real world will become. And I think people are not missing out, but they're undervaluing the lands that they can own right now in the other side, for example, because this is the biggest project right now we have, and I think it will dominate for the next 10 years at least. And so you literally get land for less than $1,000. I think it's right now that this land you can create something for you on it. You can rent it out for other people to build on it, or you can find many different ways to earn money from your property. You can get I don't know, even one land, as we saw on the other side trip, they're enormous, right?
Yeah.
And you can create an entire city in this land that not only you can attract your followers to enter, but people from the entire game who are just roaming around stumble upon it, and they can do something interesting there, and they can pay you in ape coin for the entertainment they're getting. And so it's literally a parallel economy. And people I think, are underrating the length aspect of this thing.
Absolutely. Now, if you think about it, when those lands dropped, the amount of gas we paid was at least triple what one land costs now. That was just the gas.
No, I don't know who minted, why minted it, why this FOMO, I don't understand. And everybody blamed you afterwards. I don't know. I got a few lens at 1 ETH, it was just...
That's nice.
1 year later or something like this, but...
I'm really happy for you that you made that right decision, because I minted, and obviously you were able to claim, one with your Bored Ape Land, one with your mutant. So I did that, and the gas fees were astronomical. But, it was an experience. It was the euphoria of that summer. And I just took it as, okay, this is money that's going to wash away and I'll probably lose it. But I'm here. I'm going to have the experience, because you can't take money with you, So anyway, I did that. And then... Now, I hadn't slept for about 4 days leading up to that experience. I don't know what happened to me, but I was just so excited. There was something in me that would not let me switch off at all. And that was without much caffeine. Like, I was really just excited. There was just something that switched in my brain, and the sleep hormone just disappeared. So when you're tired and when you've not slept for so long, you start to make pretty wild decisions. And I went shopping for more other deeds at those astronomical prices, 8.6 ETH, 8.5 ETH, okay. I know. And and ETH was higher back then. And I spent quite an incredible sum when you compare it to what they're worth now. And I still have them. I hodled 9. I've got 9 lands. Yeah. Now would be the time to buy, even if you can only get one, because... Like you said, it's going to be the most popular place in the metaverse. And I truly believe that. I do believe in Yuga Labs. And I feel like they want to create cool stuff. It was those type of people, the founders, who created everything in the first place, graffiti in a bathroom wall. When you think of the simpleness to it, but the fact that it was so different, they think differently and outside of the box. And I believe in it.
Yeah, I think they're authentic, genuine, and actually know how to do things, know that they need people who understand things that they don't understand. So they hire them, get them on the team, and grow and grow and grow and grow, and keep delivering to their people, to their first supporters and to their next. And in that sense, your lens will for sure outperform, everything else. I'm pretty sure of it. It might take 2 years, it might take 5. But in the long term, there's no doubt that this thing will be used by millions around the world.
Yeah, I totally agree. I have so much conviction that I don't even, unless I'm on a podcast talking about it, I don't think about it. I don't think about any money that I may have over-invested in, anything I've over-invested in. I do believe in the future of it. I believe that it's a long-term play. It was never something I was going to flip. Otherwise, I wouldn't have spent that much ETH.
yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Like, what are the things you are most excited for now going into the next few years?
Honestly, it's just the metaverse, and because the first people in real life who were able to build buildings, factories, to create jobs, to create products, to create services, they're the richest people in the world right now. And it's happened like 200 years ago, 300 years ago at the maximum, right? But with the pace we're living in right now, with the pace of how fast technology improves, I think we can see this metaverse development in just as little as 10 years or something. So my vision is that if I'm one of the first people to create something on the metaverse, I will inevitably have benefit from it in any sense, monetary and not monetary, because there are also people who will be not only working, but who will be joining there, who will be having fun, who exchange ideas and experience. I'm repeating this word a lot, but experience is kind of the most important thing you can get from people. At least for me, I also try to learn things. And so the fact that I can be there one among the first, I don't know how many, 100,000 people out of 8 billion is big for me, because when not only you can entertain people or provide value for them, but other successful people can connect with you and you can collaborate. You can learn something from each other and you can grow much faster. And so imagine opening a billiards club in real life. How many things you have to get from the government, how many taxes you have to pay, how many struggles you have, delivery of the tables, but design and everything. And in the virtual world, it's just easy. It's just easy to do all of this very fast and to have immediate service without trying to deal with governments. All you have to do in front of governments is to pay your taxes. That's it. And bullish on the metaverse heavily.
Me too.
This is what I'm looking forward to. And of course, cryptocurrency and all kinds of NFTs will play. Everything's connected for me. AI as well. People like to separate these things. They're all one. It's all one industry. It will be used in the same place.
For sure. Yes, absolutely. And it will all be interconnected. It's exciting. And when you mention experience, it really is true, because people, if you think about it, they work all their lives and they look forward to the weekend. That's because they're going to experience something different on the weekend. It'll be fun. They spend their whole year for saving for 1 2-week holiday, or 2 if they're lucky, normally. And that's because they're going to get an experience when they go away, and it's different to their normal life. So the word experience really is paramount. And it's so important to keep in mind when you're building something. So you're totally right. And if you keep that in mind, then I can't see any reason why your part of the metaverse isn't going to be an incredible place for people to go and spend their time,
We'll make sure,
Yeah, let's fucking go! Amazing. When you mentioned, the difference between IRL and the metaverse, and then you touched on governments, what do you think is going to be like in the metaverse? Do you think they'll bring in rules of other side, for example? Because that's probably the main place we're going to be. Do you think they will create a government in other side?
There definitely will be a government disguised by some kind of DAO, because just the idea of decentralization is great, but in reality, you cannot really create decentralization in terms of creating rules and some norms, guidelines, and this stuff. It always has to be some centralized entity. So there will be rules for sure. In the beginning, it will be much easier. And that's why I'm happy to be so early to this thing. Because with time, as in the real world, you will get more restrictions and more restrictions and more restrictions and more restrictions, and you will not be able to say some certain words, or you will not going to be able to say certain things as in real life. But at least in the beginning, it will be very free for everyone, because it's just because it's growing. It's not established. There's not really a society yet there. And probably the fact that you cannot physically harm anyone is a plus. I don't think there will be, like a bank that you have to transact through the bank. Rather, we'll use just smart contracts and cryptocurrency for this, which is good. I know you don't need hospitals, you don't need roads, you don't need such stuff. So maybe there will not be taxes either. I haven't thought about this ever, to be honest. Now I'm just telling you what's on top of my head,
Yeah. And I asked you, I haven't really thought about it either. Just when you sort of correlated those two subjects and almost intertwined them, it made me think, will there be a government in the other side? A court system. And like I said earlier, a board-based judge.
Banned for, making a joke.
Oh, never. I really hope they don't do that, because there's nothing like pure joy and laughter. The kind of laughter where your eyes water, your sides split, your jaw aches because you can't stop laughing. That kind of feeling is the best feeling. It is definitely medicine for the soul. Everyone should have a good laugh and joke, and people
Yeah.
shouldn't really tell people what they should or should not find funny.
I actually think when you're mentioning about laughter and, happiness, I miss these things since probably more than a year. I very rarely see content that's funny, that's original and funny
Yeah.
without being, insulting or, trolling or some kind of thing that just because some more famous person or more well recognized person says this is funny and everybody agrees that this is funny, when in fact it's actually not. I haven't seen a lot of laughter lately, and I hope we can bring this back soon. And yeah, of course, the market is down. People are buying things that I don't know how many thousands of projects minted 2021. How many coins minted since, I don't know, 2016? Like thousands and thousands of scams. Yeah, we have to bring that back somehow.
We really need to.
It should, yeah, but it shouldn't be correlated with the market price,
No.
In theory.
Yeah, your happiness should not be dictated by numbers on a screen, because money and numbers, it's all made up. Any value of anything is always made up. It's not because it's actually worth anything. You can't take money or anything with you, and one day we're all going to the same place, or maybe a different place. We're definitely going somewhere. And I think people take life way too seriously. They take people way too seriously. They need to really realign their minds. And a little bit of advice. Anytime I feel like I can't jump out of a certain state, a zone I'm in, my mind might take me somewhere, and suddenly I feel a bit too serious because I'm thinking about something that I don't want to think about, but I can't. I will literally do things like type in funny animals, funny pets, funny anything, just funny. I'm telling you now, you will find something that will make you laugh. YouTube's probably the best place. There's lots of funny videos that have got nothing to do with crypto Twitter or celebrities or people who have just got high followings and a lot of influence. But yeah, everyone should laugh more. Everyone. It's powerful.
Yeah, and whatever helps you, bring your mood up. Everybody goes into these spaces in their head that, oh, we are fucked, this day sucks, but you have to lift yourself up somehow, because then the more you get inside of your head, the harder it is to get out of your head. And I think that's a other big part of the internet culture, that people are inside their heads. You don't have the social interaction, you don't see the person, you don't see their expressions. You don't have all those cues that we're social animals, humans. And everybody's inside of their head. Everybody's comparing to everybody else. Oh, look at this fucking guy. He's driving Ferraris, but, his dick is small, for example. And this goes on and on and on and on and never stops. So
that was a really funny analogy.
Better find cat videos and laugh a bit.
Exactly.
Get out of your head.
Yeah, like the more we can stop focusing on things that worry us, the better. People should definitely focus on funny things, happy things, good stuff, the good things in life. Because life is what we make it. It can be amazing, incredible, and people can be incredible. You just have to connect with them and put yourself out there. Book a theme park, do something fun.
100%. And I just want to mention this because I think it's really important for men, especially for young men, when you get depressed, right? And not to mention, go exercise, go for a walk, eat well, kind of learn stuff every day, put some effort every day. This will help you get out of depression. But also, if you really don't think you have to you can do anything else, just I put stand-up comedy, for example, and 1 hour straight laughing. This is my medicine, for getting out of these dark thoughts sometimes.
Definitely. And I'm sure you'll bring that into your metaverse.
That's the plan. That's the plan. But the bad thing is that I just know one Web3 stand-up comedian, and he's pissed off. So I have to find someone else.
Yeah, another comical ape or something. We'll see. We'll see who. Maybe you could hold like an audition in the metaverse and see who everyone votes as the funniest. Because you might be quite surprised.
Maybe that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad.
Yeah.
I'll consider doing it. Yeah.
Amazing. It's been incredible to get to know you, because I don't think we've ever spoken outside of crypto Twitter. And
No.
I'm not sure. Did you go to the last Ape Fest?
No, I haven't. I didn't go. I just did other things. I was traveling Europe, so missed out. But I'm not gonna lie, I don't really align with the majority of the community. Not gonna lie to you. I just think it's, for me, the Western culture has gone too far in being soft. The way they have fun, I can't have fun in this way. I just prefer to do other things for fun. Not that I don't want to go to Ape Fest, but I have to be with someone there. I cannot kind of go and just pretend that I like everybody there. I just have to have my people.
I understand. I mean, to go there alone and then to feel alone while there would not be fun. But if you do go to the next Ape Fest, you're welcome to hang out with Tequila.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
If you can make it, I'll be there. Even if it's not Ape Fest, I would love for one day to meet you IRL, have a few shots of tequila, and really just get excited for everything to come, because I really believe in where we are and what we're in, and we are ahead of a curve. We're so early, incredibly early, and there's so much opportunity for everyone who is willing to build and take that opportunity somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to add to my thought about AFES, because I don't think it was clear. I just think that it's too close. It's a great community, but it's closed for other people. And I think much more people with, many other PFPs, and even those who don't have PFPs yet, deserve to be a part of something like this. That is not only for the cool kids, let's say. I have always been, I like being cool, but when it becomes a flex of some sort, being cool for me stops being cool. And the inclusivity that is, and that's being talked about by the majority of people with apes right now, the most accepted apes, the inclusivity they're talking about just doesn't exist. And I'm against it. I'm against it because the moment you have different opinion, you just get rid of you in one way or another, and they don't give you the opportunity that this is the internet, this is the Web3 culture. The culture is to include everybody, no matter who you are, where you're from, what you think, as long as you are not abusive and bullying, insulting, and this stuff. I much prefer to have NFT summit somewhere, Paris, London, Lisbon, or these things, rather than be on such a closed, only the cool kids club event.
I understand where you're coming from. I really, really do. I can totally empathize with you. And I understand what you mean when people, I guess, close the door to everyone. But what I will say, Ape Fest, I went last year to the 4 nights, and you were allowed a +1. So there were a lot of people in there who were never ape holders, not even into NFTs, just wanted to understand what this culture is, what Web3 is. And there was nothing but good vibrations there. I didn't experience anything other than everyone welcoming everyone, even the people who were not bored apes. And that was great. And then there were sub-communities and other communities who were also putting on events around the same time and area as Ape Fest. So there was lots of intertwining of communities and everyone sort of wanting to meet everyone, even from different communities and different places globally. You know, people arrived and it was an incredible way to meet people IRL while still remaining anonymous, by the way. But yeah, so even though I understand where your mind is with it, I think you might be pleasantly surprised if you did experience it even just once.
No, I definitely want to go someday, but yeah, I just first need to find my people, to be honest, because a big part of it is that I told some of those we grew up since 2021, I thought they were friends, they were people that I could rely on, you know. And in the end of the day, it turns out it's just a freaking game, a wicked kind of game of, popularity contest and this thing. And just for me, is the culture of the internet, of the culture of crypto is, you know, to everyone to be able to participate, no matter their opinions, no matter their views, you know. And from this comes so many things about, you know, diversity, and all these things are just words, you know. And I just think diversity and inclusivity come much more from people who don't have 8 PFPs. Sadly, because I was hosting spaces for a year and something. I don't know if you remember this.
I do.
And we started this as an idea. We jumped, 3 hosts, and we jump with other friends, and we just talk. We don't have agenda. We don't have anything politics like this stuff. We're just friends discussing the NFT market, discussing technology, discussing what can be done, what cannot be done. And at some point, because it was called EU apes talking NFTs, more and more apes started jumping on. All of a sudden, politics became a topic. All of a sudden, racism became a topic. All of a sudden, hate became a topic. All these things, you know, and I'm deeply affected of this probably. So that's why I'm, you know, not that excited like everyone to go to AveFest. You know, I mean, it just.
I understand. I do
personal.
understand. Yeah, you've gone through an experience that has obviously made you feel, that way, and I can completely empathize, because, you know, it's any kind of emotion that we feel from others can make us not want to turn up somewhere, you know. I get it. I totally get it. And yeah, online, every spaces I listen to, unless it's not a popular one, the most busiest spaces are just either no sense is spoken, or it's always to do with politics, or it's always to do with something negative in the world, or it's always to do with things that just get attention. And, you know, the thing about social media is it's a place of attention, and it makes people money. So I think money and attention coincide together, and people take advantage of that fact and they ride on it. Some people can make, you know, tens or hundreds of thousands because of that attention. So I think
absolutely. Yeah.
I think that's what drives it. And I think money brings out the truth in someone. When someone starts making money, or other people see they can make any kind of money, you normally see someone's true intentions, or, you know, just the way they are as a human being. And it can definitely shine a light on some things that are not very pleasing or nice or kind. And
I'm completely aware of this. This is a game, you know. This is a game of attention. This is a game of power. This is just a game of making as much money as possible. I just have this personal philosophy that I better be authentic, better take more time to achieve my goals, but I better not do it purely for money, but rather, what's my mission? To educate people. Or not educate, but share my ideas, push them in some way, give them ideas, give them advice from my experience, from my encounters with people. And I was able to do this in a very good way with my authenticity. We had, like, for this year, at some point, we were having 100, 150, 200 people in the space every single week by just doing authenticity.
Yeah.
And so I don't mind of these people that have that just talk bullshit and just kind of talk about their positivity and have all their masks in terms of, oh, I love everyone, but at the same time, you love everyone, you show them a project, and the project means out, and you directly dump it on those who love. I just don't want to be associated with such people, and I repeat it. I think most people right now who are with PFPs are such characters. It's just culture, it's society they're living in, it's of course the way they have lived in. And yeah, I just have another path. I just prefer to do it authentically. And and everybody, Ape Fest, when Ape Fest. Why not? When better communication. With from Yuga Labs, from Yacht Club, from ApeCoin DAO. When the ApeCoin DAO people will start actually putting real work and start approving not only their friends' proposals, but people who are not their friends but have good proposals. When they're going to explain that you don't need a fucking ape to participate, all you need is one ape coin to go there and propose your idea. But they're not doing it because it's a game. It's their game, and they don't want you to participate, or they don't want others to participate in it. It's just human nature. I understand it, right? But I'll be the other side of this game.
Well, leading your life with integrity, is definitely a win, because it doesn't matter if people don't like you on the way, because everyone's opinion is their own. But if you lead with authenticity and integrity and you're honest, then you will succeed, even if it just takes a longer route, because sometimes attention does make things happen faster. Someone can make money overnight after just maybe, I don't know, building for a month. I've seen that happen a few times. But it doesn't last, and money doesn't last, and attention doesn't last. I think even for celebrities to maintain attention is difficult. I think their lifespan as a celebrity is normally roughly 5 years, I think. And then they have to reinvent themselves, and they have to change themselves somehow to be trending again, in then that current society. And it is a game in that way. And when it comes to taking notice of it all, if you really do dissect it and take it apart, it's quite obvious. But if you're just immersed in it and you're not really thinking clearly, you could just think that's a reality. People get sucked in. And that's quite dangerous, actually. And that's probably what you're seeing a lot of on Twitter. People think that's popular. People think that's important, on social media, because it's getting so much attention, so many numbers. If so many people are populating a space, then of course it must be incredible. And it's a perception.
And it's like some random fucking guys doing goblin noises. It's just crazy. But a good point you made there, and I just wanna say this, that I pay attention to those who like me, not to those who dislike me. Those who don't like me are my motivation, but those who like me are my support, and I'm supporting them. And so this is enough. This is enough to just keep me going to this purpose I have. I'm just gonna focus on kind of a broad audience of the space rather than punks and apes and Zukis and Digots and the most expensive collections. I want to work with people who have the will, who want to make it, who want to do quality work, who want to show up on time, and who are not entitled. These PFPs literally change your perspective. You think of yourself that you're smarter than anyone. Sometimes it can happen. I have seen it with some people, and you just need humility. I think, and of course, all these things, humility and positivity and opinions, all those come in different forms. So It's the internet. Okay, it's crazy. It's attention driven. All these things, but good things take long time. I believe in this. I have always achieved things in a difficult way, but all the things I have achieved have improved my life so much that I'm forever grateful and satisfied because I have done it the hard way instead of going to the. I could easily collaborate with the scammers of the space, make millions of dollars, fuck off. But then what? What am I gonna do? I have to be careful all the time, and not show up here and there. What am I gonna do later, in life? For me, it's more about the long term. And long term, I mean, Gary Vee says this for the next 40 years. So.
I really love that though. I really love that. And anything that is incredible takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of time. It takes a maintenance as well. And also for you to maintain for one, definitely in this space, your reputation, because that can disappear, in an hour. And by leading with integrity, by doing things without hurting others, but leading with your own intention and not being sidetracked, by others' opinions, as we've talked a lot about. Even though it takes a lot longer, it allows you to preserve the most important things and the foundations that you would have built at the beginning, because we're all here for a very long time, we hope. And if we taint anything, it just lasts. And that's not what you want to last. You want the true intentions of yourself to last, not something that was flippant over a month of shilling, crazy projects that will go into zero, and that will obviously go into zero. People know when they're shilling something that hasn't got a lasting time frame. But it is a crazy space. And also what you mentioned, so we've had different experiences, obviously, everyone does, and I feel like I keep myself to myself. I work on other things. So this podcast, for example, it keeps me so busy. I'm always sort of doing my own thing. I'm on Twitter, but I'm not, for example, hosting spaces myself. I co-host on another one, but it's got nothing to do with me per se. So in that way, I haven't had, I would say, the negative experiences you've had. Although I've seen a lot of things, I've observed them, and I can completely empathize with you, because there are definitely some bad apples in the space, and you do see it, it is obvious, but I don't take notice of them. So I keep going, I keep building, I keep working, I keep driving my own visions and dreams forward, because that's what's important to me. But because of that, I feel like I haven't had those negative experiences that you've had, because I've not given myself to anyone. I've not given my attention to them. I've not given my time. I've not given anything of me for them to almost hurt. And so But even though we've had different experiences, I know what people are like. And there's been plenty of times in my life where people have treated me badly or, whatever. And I think everyone experiences that. But when it's from a certain community, I think it's more sensitive, because anything that happens in around that community, you're focusing on the things that have happened because of that community. And it's so difficult. But also the fact that you're building your own visions, your own thing in the metaverse, you're going to be creating your own community. And that gives you a lot of options. It gives you a lot of control. You're able then to be better. You're able to do better. You're able to do all of those things that you were hoping to find in this community. You're able to then carve that for the future, which is obviously the way Web3 should be. It should be better. We should all do better.
Yeah. Absolutely. And you said, about the disappointment. The disappointment comes from there that I have genuinely helped people. I had, let's say, 30,000 followers, and I'm involved in 3-4 projects that I'm advising or helping with something, or, whitelist, whatever. And someone on the timeline with a profile, can you make this can you put my ape with Photoshop on my head? And I'll go there and say, yeah, sure. Bam, bam, bam. And 5 minutes later, I've done this. And, it's every single day I have given advice from, for how, because I was playing poker before that, and I learned a lot about mental health and discipline and persistence and these things. All of those topics I have been participating in with other apes. I was spending 14 hours a day on Twitter, and most of my interactions have, on a more personal level, have been with the genuine intention to help other people from this community. And the disappointment comes from there that once I started having different opinions than them, then, everything was forgotten, right? And so now, as you say, I'm not focusing on those people. I keep doing my thing because there are 8 billion people in the world. I can have literally, I can remove my PFP and I'll still do this thing because I know I have the experience, I have the knowledge, I have the willingness to show this to the world and to invite them into this place that I'm creating. And so, basically, I'm a bit aside of the ape community right now. But at the same time, I'm getting closer and closer and closer with all the other people, So that's, for me, what matters the most.
It makes sense. You need to be around the people that lift you up. You need to be around the people who do something for you that's positive, especially when you're given your own positivity and uplifting values, because it is a value when someone uplifts you. When someone takes the time to care, it's invaluable, and time is the most valuable asset we have, so who you give your time to is of utmost importance for your whole life. I mean, the person someone chooses to be with forever, that can either lift you up or drag you down.
That's tricky.
That's an interesting one. I'm sure we could go really deep on that subject, but we won't today.
Let's not go there. Let's not go there.
But I totally empathize with you. And what I will say, when you mentioned 8 billion people on the planet, the amazing thing about that is, think globally how many people you can bring into your community, how many people who might never have had the opportunity to experience the other side, but you're opening the door. That's powerful. I love it.
Yeah, I think I think that's a correct approach. Not only trying to appeal to the NFT people or the DJs in the space or the artists in the space, it's rather try to attract new people to this, because they will be the most excited about it. They will see how their lives can change through this technology. And I think that's the right audience to aim to.
Well, I'm excited. I mean, you've got me excited anyway, and I was already, bubbling inside. So, it's truly amazing. And I've really enjoyed our conversation.
Yeah, thank you. This was great.
Thank you. I would love there to be a part 2 one day, especially, a little bit further into the future when we can start building in the other side. I'd love to catch up with you again and see, what transpires. Definitely.
Okay, let's do this. Let's do this once the other side has launched and we have a few things going on there. And If we survive, we might go to 0 tomorrow. I don't know. The market is so crazy. Gary Gensler might come with something else coming. I don't know.
Oh my goodness. No, we're going to make it, fam. We're going to make it.
Okay, we're gonna make it.
Oh, we're going to make it.
We're gonna make it.
Let's fucking go. Tequila! Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
It was dope. See you next time.
It's been incredible. Yes, I'll see you next time. See you back on Crypto Twitter.